Fillmore. I'm on it.
And now, Fillmore. Today's episode, Masterstroke of Malevolence, Act 1, A Broken Masterpiece.
All right, people, listen up. I need a couple of officers to cover for Fillmore and Ingrid's beat today. Seems they're going on a field trip in the city. So, who wants the job?
Right here. I'll do it.
Ooh, that's a sweet beat.
Tahama, Anza, you're on deck. All right, on to business. We got reports of the clogger hitting the boys John.
Hey, I'm going on the field trip too. Who's covering for me?
Oh, right. Not a problem. We're going with a tripod. Oh, got wheels and everything.
Relax, everyone! Soon we'll be at the Modern Contemporary Natural History Museum of Art, Science, and Miniatures. I myself saw a painting there when I was no older than you. It was what inspired me to become an artiste. Teacher. It was called The Lobsterman at Port.
A glorification of lobster assassination.
Who said that? Who? Was that you, Sarah Beale? Because if it was...
Oh, those clobber goblins are lots of fun. If you're a big blubber bottle baby. Wah, wah.
A tripod. A go-glabbering tripod. I know it had wheels, but did it have a heart? He's taking it rough.
It's heavy being replaced by 3 pieces of wood.
We're here, students! Shall we? Art awaits! This is it. The Lobsterman at Port. Note the fine brushwork, the subtle chiaroscuro lighting, the rugged, manly forearms of the lobsterman. Arms that could sweep you out to sea.
How's about I take over from here, Mrs. Lawton?
Oh, yes. Be my guest.
The Lobsterman at Port is the one and only painting ever painted by Gustav Amadeus Douglas. It's oil on canvas, perhaps the most authentic portrayal we have of 20th century lobstering. The artist dropped out of public life over 30 years ago and was never heard from again. Up next, a tiny Florentine villa.
They're forcing me into early retirement. Over 30 years of loyal service, and this is what I get.
It's not right. You're the best guard this museum's got.
Huh. Tell that to Mr. Prosper.
There's gotta be something we can do. Some way to prove how valuable you are.
Rugged forearms. More like forearms of death. Hope he feels manly. Wow.
The artist painted this site 8 times.
Excuse me?
He wanted to paint what it looked like in every kind of light at every time of day. See how this one has a greenish tint? It was painted in the morning. The afternoon paintings look more yellow. I'm Nick.
Ingrid, you're in Mrs. Lawton's class?
Yep, art history too.
Oh, 8th grader. No wonder you know so much about art.
Nah, I didn't learn this stuff from her. I learned it from someone else.
Whoa! What's going on?
Hang on, everyone. Probably just the storm.
Oh, is everyone here? Are any students... Mustache? Mustache!
Crackers. Ingrid, it's on.
Out of my way, people! We got a painting to fix! Make way for the restore! Move it!
By dawn's early light, it's what I was afraid of! Marker ink!
Well, can't you remove it?
This type of restoration is very tricky. If I used, say, the Blackie Mark 3000 restoration solution on, say, a Marker Me Mine spot, the result would be an SOHM. A smear of horrific magnitude.
Well, then, what can we do?
The only way to undo this heinous crime is to find the perpetrator and make him or her give us the pen he or she used.
Let Leo find the culprit. He can do it. He's a great security guard.
Oh yes, Nick. That's a capital idea. Leo's great. So great that he let someone deface a painting on his watch. Sorry, Leo, but here's your prime, here's you. You're past it!
He's not past his prime. For crying out loud, he was just named Employee of the Month 2 months ago. Besides, who else are you gonna find to solve this crime?
We've already put a call into the authorities, but with this unyielding storm, it's doubtful they'd get here in time to save the painting.
We can do it. We have experience with this sort of thing at school. You just said the pros might not be here in time. We are.
You've got 20 minutes. That's when the ink dries and the painting will be ruined forever.
All right, let's do this. Hey, my man, hold up. I need you to come back into this room, please. So this thing is solved, everyone's a suspect. Can I get a look at the tape from that camera? Goes dark at the same time. Except right there.
What is it?
It looks like it's just a glitch on the tape.
Well, at least we know exactly who was in the room when it went down. Can I ask you people to line up?
I don't have to do this. You're not the law.
For the next 18 minutes, I am. We were the only people in the room when this happened. One of us drew that stash. Step 1, people. Everyone hand over any markers or ink pens you're carrying. Here's mine.
I've got one, but I've got nothing against lobsters. Save for the time I was pinched.
I have one. I always have it.
I have my Portal Scholar pocket tool. It has a scientific calculator, a protractor, an asthma inhaler, the pocket guide to self-esteem, and this zero-gravity pen.
Sorry.
Fine. You win.
It's right here. One of these markers is the one that defaced that painting.
Perhaps. But you have 17 minutes to figure out which one it is. Pick the right one, and you've saved the lobsterman at port. But pick the wrong one, and you've destroyed a priceless work of lobster-oriented art. Forever.
Act 2, The Spot, marked.
Hey, Fillmore, check this out.
Disco. Someone stood on the statue to mark our boy.
Hey!
Snap! I got him.
Sorry, son.
How'd you do that?
Predictability. They always run this way. Only they're usually bigger.
Well, let's get him back to the room. I don't want anyone trying to bail again. Leo, you got a way of sealing this room?
Way ahead of you. I had these installed just last year. Never know when such a thing might come in handy.
What is this?
Clobber Goblin. Voice-activated action figures that spar by clubbing each other with a plastic bat-like weapon. I know things. I also asked around and took some notes. Timmy's an 8-year-old genius who's been grade-skipped all the way up to 7th grade. He's at the top of his class, sings alto in the school choir, and has never gotten a single citation.
Timmy, can you tell me what you were doing with this?
It's not mine, I tell you. I've never seen it. I own no Clobber Goblins.
Timmy, don't try to play me, man. This Clobber Goblin has your name on it, and the tag reads, I own a lot of Clobber Goblins.
Now everybody's gonna know. I'm ruined. The kids at X think Clobber Goblins are stupid and kiddie. They're gonna think I'm stupid and kiddie too. But those Clobber Goblins, I just love them so much.
So Timmy's a Goblin fan in a big way. You know what I think? Maybe he didn't plan to mess with the painting. But when he saw that Clobber Goblin town across the street, he might have snapped.
Possible.
More than possible. He was trying to sneak off right after the lobster man was mustached. Maybe he did it himself to cause a distraction. But how'd he do it?
I'll tell you how he did it.
He ordered the clobber goblin to climb up the statue next to the painting and draw on the mustache.
O'Farrell, clobber goblins can only take 2 steps before falling over. Goblin, walk.
Oh. Hey, what about this? He got a giant clobber goblin with an advanced equilibrium system.
Don't worry about the kids at school teasing you, son. Remember, it's not the cards you're dealt. It's how you play them.
Well, Sherlock, you've solved the crime. It had to be Timmy. Can we go now?
We got a suspect, but this case isn't solved, Sarah. Not yet. Footprint.
Let me see. Doc Lewis brand, last season, well used, size 4, girls. Shoe? Perfect match.
I just leaned on the statue while I was looking at the painting. Is that a crime?
You tell me.
She did it! I have no doubt! Book her, Cornelius!
Hold up, Mrs. L. Why are you sure she did it?
Because she's the perfect suspect. Sarah Beale complained to Principal Folsom about my Lobster Minute Port lithograph, claiming it was offensive. Seems Missy Miss Beale cares more about insects of the sea than she does about people. Well, I lost my lithograph, but she got hers. Barely a week goes by when she doesn't get detention from me because of her lip. She has to learn respect for her elders and beings without exoskeletons.
She has a motive. Revenge. Mrs. Lawton loves that painting.
I already turned in my marker. It's pink, not black.
Maybe you didn't turn in all your markers.
Empty 'em, please.
This is what you get when you stand up for what you believe. Well, I don't care. I will always defend the rights of crustaceans.
Crackers. Looks like you forgot something, Sarah.
That's not mine. I swear it.
Who's Simon Prosper?
The curator of the museum. All his personal writing implements are engraved with his name.
So this had to come out of his office.
It's obvious. It had to be the security guard. He's the only one who works here. Duh, who else could have gotten that marker?
The curator's office door has 3 locks on it, and only he has the keys. Not even a security guard can get in.
Where do you know Nick Baker from?
Nick? Why, he's a junior docent for the museum. Helps with stocking supplies, passing out mail, odd jobs. Now, don't you go suspecting Nick. He's a good kid, works hard, cares about people. He ain't involved in any of that funny business no more.
Funny business?
Well, you know, the textbook tooth blackening. But that's all over and done with, I know it. In fact, he got an award for all his good work from Simon Prosper just yesterday. Nice party. Had a cake shaped like his head.
Your turn, Nick.
It's true. I'm a recovering tooth blackener. But I've paid my debt to society. My time at the museum was up months ago. But I stayed. I stayed because I care.
May I see that? Please.
Dog. I need some air.
Act 3. Mixed motives.
It's not what cards you're dealt, but how you play them. Sounds familiar.
Sometimes it doesn't hurt to remind yourself what you believe.
Or what your friends believe. Right, Leo?
Well, when Nick first came to the museum, he was feeling low about his problem. Felt like life wasn't fair. I told him the whole world's unfair. Might as well make the best of it.
Hello, what have we here? A certificate of appreciation, signed by Simon Prosper. Signed by Simon Prosper's black marker.
I was presented with the certificate at a ceremony.
In Prosper's office?
Yes.
Leo, that cake shaped like Nick's head? What flavor was it?
Buttercream.
Buttercream. It was a nice little shindig. All your friends from the museum. Maybe even Mom and Dad. And of course, a cake shaped like your head.
For outstanding work as a junior docent, I'm pleased to award you this certificate of achievement.
We're so proud of you, Nicky.
Smile for the camera, sport.
Now, let's get some cake.
Maybe you just couldn't help yourself, and everyone was too busy with the cake to notice you swiped the marker.
Fine, you got me. I took the marker. But why would I deface a painting when I live for art?
I'll tell you why. Friendship. I saw Nick and Leo talking about how Leo was being forced into early retirement.
There's gotta be something we can do. Some way to prove how valuable you are.
The only way to undo this heinous crime is to find the perpetrator and make him or her give us the pen he or she used.
Let Leo find the culprit. He can do it. He's a great security guard.
They were friends. When Leo was about to be pink-slipped, well, Nick just couldn't see his friend go out like that.
Plus, he planted that pen on me. Why would he have done it if he's not guilty?
One more marker, one more suspect, but no answers. Oh, Farrell, you're making me see spots, man.
Sorry, I think my flash broke when I dropped my camera.
Whoa, you dropped it? When?
When the lights went out.
That glitch on the tape. It was a flash from a camera. Oh, Farrell's camera.
That picture might show who committed the crime.
Might's all we have time for. We need a dark room. You got any film developing supplies in the museum?
Sorry.
Dog!
Wait a minute. I can develop a roll of film using a few common household ingredients. Bring me baking soda, vinegar, and coffee grounds. Stat! And show me to a room. A dark room.
4 minutes.
Done. Well?
Danny, a tripod couldn't represent like you just did. Remember that, man. I know who did it.
Leo? The culprit? No way.
Leo's not just the culprit. He's Gustav Amadeus Douglas, the artist.
Why would he deface his own painting? His own beautiful, beautiful painting?
Questions later. Painting restoration now!
Not if I can help it.
Let's roll.
He could have gone left, up to the brain, or right.
Towards the heart. You take brain, I'll take heart. The intestines.
Fillmore, where are you?
Near the, liver? The appendix? Ingrid!
Don't come any closer. The eustachian tube on this model is 12 feet long. I throw this marker, and you're not gonna get it back for a long time.
Gustav, it doesn't have to go down like this, man.
Gustav. Ha! You hear that Gustav Amadeus Douglas only painted the Lobster Man at Port. But that's not true. I painted lots of paintings. Just nobody liked them. At least until Simon Prosper himself came to see my work. He hated everything, except the Lobster Man at Port. I told him it was unfinished. I was going to paint on that mustache. But Prosper liked the unfinished painting. In the end, I sold out. It wasn't even for the money. I just wanted people to like my art for once. And they did. I was famous, but I couldn't paint anymore. I gave up art, went underground, took a job as a security guard at the museum to remind myself every day of my big sellout. And after all these years, I decided it was time I made the painting what I wanted it to be all along. and it's gonna stay that way.
Why now, Leo? Why not a year ago? Or 10 years ago? I'll tell you why. You were too busy being a great security guard. See, Leo, man, I don't think this is about your art. I think this is about your job. The job you love. The job they're making you leave. You never let anything go wrong on your watch, right?
No, never. He even nabbed a couple of art thieves a few years ago.
You'd think it would matter after all these years, but it don't.
It matters to me.
And me.
And me.
Come on, man. Be true to Officer Leonard Grant, the best security guard this museum's ever had.
Go on, kid. Take it.
Go!
Good thing you had that picture of me, or I might have made the biggest mistake of my life.
Yeah, except the only picture on the film was O'Farrell's shoe.
But then, how did you...
There were clues, lots of them. But the biggest clue was realizing that you were nowhere near past your prime. The only person who could get past you was you. But I didn't have absolute proof, so...
You bluffed to make me fess up.
I bluffed. Like you said, it's not the cards you're dealt, but how you play them.
Officers Fillmore and 3rd, I have something for you.
Nick, hey man, what is it?
Leo wanted to give you something to show his appreciation. He could have ended up in jail. If it wasn't for you, well, he's lucky he just wound up fired.
Signed by the artist.
Nice. So where do we put it?
Hey, I know! Well, Mr. Tripod, you're holding up a print, and I'm doing regular safety patrol duties. So who's more useful now, baby? Huh? Mr. Tripod?
Easy on the tripod, man.